Do you want to move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology? Then let's talk about the astrological patterns for October 2020. The month begins with a full moon on the 1st and ends with a full moon on the 31st. So we begin and end with this spectacular illumination from the moon. And that really summarizes the month of October. It is full of astrological activity, and a light is going to shine on so many issues this month. It's hot. So let's begin with that full moon on October 1st. It is in the sign Aries. What is very important about this is that on October 2nd, that moon in Aries will move into a conjunction with Mars in Aries, and then we'll activate the squares ongoing with Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn. I've talked about this so many times before in my videos, but I have a new way to explain this. You know, we've recently experienced all that incredible heat in the west coast of the United States, and all those terrible fires, all that burning, all the smoke in the air. And I had talked about this at one point, saying that Mars and Aries transit, which is lasting so long, would heat everything up and the fire danger would be pretty intense this fall. But there's another way to look at this, and that is earlier in the year we had Saturn and Pluto conjunct. And in a way, this is symbolizing a composting period. It's a breaking down of structures, a breaking down of patterns, and it is changing and morphing into something new, just like what happens in a compost pile. You take your garbage, you take grass clippings, you take things that you want to pile up, decompose, and turn into organic matter. Well, we're all going through a composting phase right now throughout the entire world. There is a pattern change that's taking place. And this month in particular, in October, we are in the second phase of composting, which gets really, really hot. If you've ever composted before, you know there is a phase when the center gets really hot, and that's when the activation of breaking everything down accelerates. And you need to keep air moving through the system because it helps all the microbes. Well, air is our thinking. It begins October 1st with the full moon in Aries, and it's activating the heat in the compost. Symbolically, what that means, we are breaking down a lot of old patterns, releasing, letting go, and changing a lot of things in the world. And it's not very comfortable, is it? It's not for me. I feel it being sparky. I feel the tension as things are breaking away, as things are decomposing, getting ready to turn into organic matter, fertile organic matter. And we can cast seeds in that fertile organic matter and grow something spectacular, and that's for 2021. So let me say once again, full moon on the 1st, getting really hot on the 2nd. You're going to need to remember to breathe. You're going to need to get out there and do something with your physical body to burn away some of the excessive heat and intensity from Mars and Aries. This is ongoing all month. As a matter of fact, we have a new moon on October 16th. It's a new moon in Libra, and that particular new moon will be described more in my new moon video, but let me just say this. That is really gonna be one heck of a strong new moon because it's making a configuration with all those cardinal planets, with Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and with Mars. We are gonna need to be on our A game for this entire month. We are going to need to navigate with instinct and with the highest conscious lovingness you can bring, because it's sparky. You know, here in the United States, we have the presidential election. Well, it's going to be intense during this time. Ground yourself into the earth, into the practical world, and try to bring the energy into your body, from your thoughts into your body, taking appropriate action. Just before that new moon in Libra on the 16th, We have Mercury going into the retrograde phase. Mercury will be in Scorpio at that time, and it's going to retrograde back into the late degrees of Libra, activating all of that Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn stuff. And it will end the retrograde phase right after the presidential election. So you get this opportunity to internalize, but you want to make sure you're not internalizing a bunch of heat, which would be anger, frustration, or criticism. You want to make sure it is passing through your system and you're staying clear and cool. And then, as if the month wasn't active enough, on the 31st we have another full moon. Well, this one is spectacularly interesting because it is a full moon in Taurus, and the moon is going to be conjunct the planet Uranus. We have adventure, we have excitement. That's the way I want to look at it. I want to anticipate something wonderful, but we have rapid composting. We have rapid change from one form to another at that time. Ride the currents of energies well. Trust yourself to be able to handle whatever life gives you, and don't anticipate something negative, but it's jazzy, it's juicy in October, and there's no way around it. So to summarize the astrological patterns for October, here are the key dates. The full moon in Aries on the 1st of October, 1st and 2nd will be really, really hot. Middle of the month, you have Mercury going retrograde on the 14th. That's going to stay retrograde till early November. You have the new moon in Libra on the 16th, really hot and juicy new moon in Libra. And then you have another full moon on the 31st on Halloween, and that's going to be in Taurus. We have an exciting month ahead of us. Again, elevate up to your A game. You are a strong, confident, wonderful, loving being. It is time to manifest that. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.